The month is May, hooray, hooray, hooray! So go outside and play today because the month is May, yay! In the month of May, Santa Claus is not on his sleigh. Good morning, super sparkly sapphires. Today is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. It's the 149th day of school. Let's see how many days are left. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23. Find a mindful position in 5, 4, 3, 2, wonderful. It's time for your daily pop quiz. Maps. What state do we live in? Calendars. Which day comes after Thursday? Shapes. How many sides does a square have? Numbers. When you're counting by tens, what number comes after 90? Reading. Which two letters make this sound? Spelling. How do you spell and? United States history. Name one type of Native American shelter or home. Money. Which coins do you count by tens? Writing. What should you leave between your words when you're writing? Stuart Little. Where does Stuart Little live? Get ready to check your answers. Number 1 is California. Number 2 is Friday. Number 3 is 4 sides on a square. Number 4 is 100. Number 5 is TH. Number 6 is AND. The North Coast tribes lived in wooden houses. The Southwest tribes lived in clay houses. The Plains Indians lived in teepees. And the Woodlands tribes lived in longhouses made of trees or chickees down south with roofs made of palm tree leaves. We haven't talked about our local Native American tribes this year, but if you know about any other shelters, your parents can check your answer. Number 8 is dimes. Number 9 is spaces or a 2-finger space. Number 10 is New York City. Nice job on your quiz. Now it's time for a story. Corduroy by Don Freeman. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button on one of his shoulder straps." Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain, he wondered? I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was the most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. "This must be a palace," Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace." Aww. He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once he saw something small and round. "Why, here is my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up, but like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop, off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bang! Into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now, who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." That sentence sure has an exclamation mark at the end. He flashed his light under and over the sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all, and there he saw 2 fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. Uh-oh. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman took Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator. He set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning, and there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night, I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." Shall I put him in a box for you? The saleslady asked. Oh, no, thank you, Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. This must be home, he said. I know, I've always wanted a home. Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. I like you the way you are, she said, but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened. You must be a friend, said Corduroy. I've always wanted a friend. Me too, said Lisa, and gave him a big hug. Now it's time for Topic Tuesday. Since we just read about Corduroy, today for Topic Tuesday, you are going to write about your favorite stuffy. I'm sure it will be a difficult decision. You should definitely tell me what your stuffy's name is, and you should definitely tell me where you got your stuffy. So I might say something like, my favorite stuffy is Mr. Moose. I got him from a museum in Montana. And then you would tell me one other detail, like Mr. Moose sleeps in my bed every night, or Mr. Moose likes to spend most of his time on the couch, or I have had Mr. Moose for 3 whole years. Remember to start each sentence with an uppercase letter. Leave spaces between your words. Do your very best handwriting and make sure you have punctuation at the end. Have fun!